Good morning everyone and welcome back to my channel English Literature. Today we are going to talk about another dissenter, Annie Hutchinson. We have talked about Roger Williams and Thomas Morton and now Annie Hutchinson. Annie Hutchinson was a Puritan spirit who was born in Lincolnshire, England. His father was Francis Marbury and Annie married a cloth merchant William Hutchinson in 1612 and became from Annie Marbury she became from Annie Hutchinson. Now Annie Hutchinson, this is her image, you can see. At the end of 1634, he along with her husband arrived in Boston. There her husband became a magistrate. So from a merchant he became a magistrate, M to M. He was a bold, brave and generous-hearted woman who used to work as a midwife and was free in her discussions and critiques of the sermons. She was a smart and independent woman, but unfortunately she became a threat to the Puritan kingdom. She became the cause of Pilgrim elders' eyesores. They did not approve her popularity and preachings. She was called before the General Court, where Winthrop, do you remember Winthrop? The governor of Massachusetts Bay Colony. So Winthrop presided over the court and she was charged on heresy, blasphemy, and she suffered a cruel punishment. So it reminds me Joan of Arc. When he talked about 100 Years War, do you remember? If you don't remember, you can go through 100 Years War and there you will find Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc has to suffer the same fate, a horrible fate, because she was a very common shepherd girl and she declared that God has direct communication with her and God had advised her to do such things, and even he persuaded the French king and he became the leading role in the war against England. And when with her help, with her exuberance or whatever it is, because she was not a soldier, but there is something motivated the French people, and they became successful in the war, and she was charged on heresy and she was burnt on stake. A woman is telling that she is God's descendant and she has direct communication with God. God is giving her advice. It is too much. At the one point she is a poor peasant shepherd woman and a young woman, and there are so many high profile people like church, king. They are there and they are doing so many things for God. They are selling indulgences, they are taking money from people, they are celebrating their so many religious rituals, and even then after so many things they cannot go towards this near of God, and this girl from so mundane life is claiming that she has direct communication with God. Is it tolerable? Not at all. At any situation it cannot be tolerable, because the whole business of religion is dominating or whatever you say, marketing from one particular society, one particular organization, and that belief, that creed, that brainwashing is going on from era to era, from decades after decades. They are spreading God's benevolence, and this trivial girl is saying that she has direct communication with God. And same thing happened with Annie Hutchinson. What happened? Annie Hutchinson claimed that Annie Hutchinson had direct communication with God. She is just a midwife. She is just a common woman who has come to Boston with her husband and given birth to 11 children. She should take care of them. She is a woman, just a common housewife. She should take care of them and attend the church and hear what the religious teachers and preachers are saying. How dare he to say that she knows everything and God is communicating with her. This is not possible to tolerate. And so she was banished to Rhode Island, and later she moved to Long Island, where in 1643 she and her family were massacred by Indians. So that was her fate. And now it was not everything. Even when he was called in the court, she was pregnant with 2 months, for 2 months. And after so many trial and mental pressure, he was forced to just acknowledge that whatever she is saying is wrong, and his banishment, his fleeing from one place to another. For all these reasons, he gave birth to a deformed boy. And that deformed child, okay, this deformed child is described as demon child. So politics is everywhere. Politics in respect of religion and politics in respect of every sector. For keeping the power in hand, there is everywhere there is politics. Winthrop, the great descendant of religion, Puritanism, he spread the rumor that this is the demon child, this is the punishment of God to Annie. As Annie was a midwife, she came in contact with the common woman, the common people, the common woman, and she started preaching her religious views. And she called everyone, she interacted with the woman and even the other persons, and she became famous because of her job and because of her simple way of teaching and preaching. And her fame, her popularity cannot be tolerated. So her child is demon child, and it is said to that extent Winthrop rumored to that extent with his associates, that all the children that was born in her hands all are demon children, all are crippled and demon children. Even Winthrop go to that extent that he gave physical description. He spread physical description of those children, that they have claws, they are disfigured, they are deformed in various aspects, just to make the situation worse, just to project Annie Hutchinson as a devious witch. And he just collected all the information that all the children are demon children with claws, nails, vicious looks, and this detailed physical description just to strip Annie Hutchinson from her fame and from her position. So she was banished from her place, and then just get a very cruel life, because cruel death. She has to die at the hands of the Indians. Even after her death, Winthrop did not stop. He wrote a pamphlet on her, describing her as a witch, and she go on criticizing her. Even her death is shown as God's justice, God's punishment. So, in this respect, I feel that Joan of Arc and Annie Hutchinson has so many similarities. And not only Annie Hutchinson, but in the history you'll find that those who dissent have to suffer, but those women who dissent had to suffer more. And she was the woman upon whom Nathaniel Hawthorne wrote the great Puritan romance of Hester Prynne, The Scarlet Letter. So again we find the name of Hawthorne. In respect of Thomas Morton, he wrote a short story on Maple. And even in case of Annie Hutchinson, he wrote the character Hester Prynne is modeled on Annie Hutchinson's life, The Scarlet Letter. So Annie Hutchinson is immortal, and no one can defame her position. Okay, so it is a sad story with Annie Hutchinson. Thank you.